The childhood sweetheart who crashed his car and lost his memory is stuck 2 years in the past. He bursts into my bridal suite, dressed to the nines as the groom. You're really getting married without telling the groom? Are you done fooling around? Do you even realize I almost missed it? I skim my fingers over my wedding gown, then point at the life-sized photo behind him. Adrien's arm is locked around my shoulders, the upturn of his mouth softening those cool eyes. Every inch of him shines with happiness and love. I watch the color drain from Ethan's face. The moment you chose Savannah 2 years ago, the groom changed. Leave now. Don't make me late for my own wedding. Before we go on, be sure to subscribe. Then drop a comment and tell us where you're listening from. 1. I'm perched in the bridal suite in a cloud-white gown. Aurora, you're breathtaking today. At least Ethan, the colossal jerk, isn't the one claiming you. Tessa smooths my hair. I just overheard one of the Sterling cousins downstairs on the phone. Ethan totaled his car yesterday. Apparently cracked his skull. He's probably still in the ICU. Call it karma. I haven't heard that name in ages. My heart stutters. After today, every messy strand of the past will be snipped clean. Hey, your veil. Hold on. I'll run down and get it. Tessa scurries off. I face the mirror, force the corners of my mouth into a flawless arc, and push to my feet. Bang. The door slams against the wall. I spin around. Ethan is in a perfectly tailored groom's tux, gauze wrapped around his head. His lips are pressed thin with irritation. Long legs stride across the threshold. Aurora, you're seriously holding the wedding without alerting the groom? Are you done with this tantrum? There's pure grievance in his voice. Do you know I almost missed my own ceremony? That ordinary tone drags me back 2 years to the night we split. He ground my wrist between his fingers. I savage. Aurora, you brought this on yourself. Even if you kneel and beg later, I won't turn back. I crush the surge of memories and answer coldly. What are you doing here? This isn't your place. The corner of his mouth lifts. He's suddenly sunny. If I don't show, how are you going to wrap this up alone? Fine, I admit it. I screwed up. So, I celebrated Savannah's birthday with her. You retaliated by faking another hard episode. He pulls me into the hug he's always used, voice honeyed. Look at you. Perfectly fine. And you even moved the wedding up in secret. Still pouting now. I'm certain. His mind is parked 2 years ago. I twist free, my voice cracking. Ethan, you've lost your memory. This is not your wedding. We broke up ages ago. His arms freeze midair. Aurora, that temper of yours, time to rein it in. If it bothers you, I'll cut Savannah off this instant. He tucks a loose strand of hair behind my ear. I've told you 1,000 times. You're the only woman I'll ever marry. Today's our big day. Let's stop the drama. Same old song. He's forever the helpless one. I'm always the hysterical one. I drag him in front of the mirror. Look for yourself. The glass reflects the white bandage circling his skull. The smile on his face shatters. Impossible. He corners me step by step, eyes bloodshot. This is just jealousy theater. We've been together since kindergarten. You've dreamed of marrying me for years. How could we be over? I slide my hand along the gown and jab a finger at the giant portrait behind him. I am getting married, but the groom is not you. Ethan whirls around. In the photo, Adrien's arm circles my shoulders. The tilt of his lips melts the severity in his gaze. Every line of him glows with joy and love. Ethan's pupils contract. His face turns chalk white. I speak ice in every syllable. The instant you picked Savannah 2 years ago, I picked a different groom. 2. Ethan and I were childhood sweethearts. I'd been sickly since birth, a congenital heart defect. His parents drilled it into him. Take care of Aurora. But Ethan was all rebellion and defiance. He'd trap bugs in my pencil case, pull grotesque faces, and lead the neighborhood kids in creepy nursery rhymes to scare me. I was terrified and lonely. Because of my health, playmates were rare. Ethan was the only peer willing to hang out. One afternoon, he pointed to a dirt mound in the garden. Aura, climb up there and I'll quit calling you sickly. Believing he'd turned a new leaf, I scrambled up on hands and knees. Halfway to the top, the ground gave way. I plunged into a 2-meter pit he'd hollowed out and camouflaged. Twigs and weeds rained down on me while he laughed above until his grin collapsed. I clutched my chest, cold sweat slicking my skin, vision tunneling to black. I fainted. When I woke, he was red-eyed, stammering, "Apologies. I swear I'll never land you in a hospital again." Later, I learned his father thrashed him and made him kneel outside my ward for 2 nights straight. From that day, he never teased me again. Every snack, every soda he saved for me, watching my health closer than my parents. The grown-ups loved to tease. Little Ethan's guarding his future bride. He'd flush, square his shoulders and declare, "Obviously, we moved from grade school to college side by side." He hovered, scaring off every boy who came near. "Aura, you're mine forever. The second we graduate, we wed." Everyone assumed we were unbreakable. Then junior year he met Savannah. She brimmed with energy. Bro talked with him like one of the guys, my polar opposite. She could game with him all night and nap in his arms when the sun came up. She matched him on the basketball court, chest bumping and crying in victory. She'd latch onto his hand or peck his cheek for a study break. Ethan mentioned Savannah more and more. Minutes with me shrank. When I confronted him, he snapped, "Why are you so paranoid? Try learning from Savannah. Be chill for once." I prayed I was imagining things until my phone lit up on her birthday. "Miss Valjing says he's bored. Time for a change of flavor." Attached was a photo. Candlelight from the birthday cake flickered across Ethan's face as he locked Savannah's waist and kissed her like oxygen. That night my heart gave out. Tessa dialed Ethan over and over. Finally he answered. Silence stretched. "Ben, she's been fine for years. What's the big deal this time? Tell her I'll swing by tomorrow." A woman's throaty moan cut in and he killed the call. He didn't know. The doctor slapped a code blue notice on my chart that night. My parents sobbed themselves unconscious. I stalked to the edge of death, backed away and ended us. Ethan refused to accept it. How could years of history evaporate? I showed him the photo. His eyes went crimson. He glared like I'd stabbed him. "Aurora, you chose this. Don't ever crawl back begging. I won't be there." After that, I dodged anything Ethan shaped. He hated me for it. Deleted every trace of me from his life. Up until this very moment after the amnesia, he stood in front of me. I lifted my gaze, voice ice cold. "Leave now. Don't wreck my wedding." Ethan stared at the cardboard cutout of us, then turned back as if the motion cracked his spine. "Aurora, this isn't real. You swore you loved only me, that you'd marry only me, that the minute we graduated we wed." I looked at him with the same ridicule I once aimed at myself. Only an idiot banks on the promises of teenage ignorance. Or pretend I simply got bored. Bored. His eyes widened in disbelief. My phone on the dressing table lit up. Adrian, I reached, but Ethan lunged, clamped my wrist, snatched the phone and hurled it to the floor. "Even if that's true, you will not marry him. I'm taking you out of here today." He yanked me toward the door. "Ethan, have you lost it? Sam?" I wrenched at his fingers. I wanted to scream, but if anyone else saw this, we'd never explain it away. She said, "Let go. Are you deaf?" Adrian filled the doorway, breathtakingly handsome and devoid of a smile, eyes like black ice. He strode in, pried Ethan's hand off me so hard Ethan yelped. Instantly, Adrian shielded me behind his back, his gaze slicing, a faint smirk ghosting his lips. Young Sterling, such manners, kidnapping a bride in daylight. A real education for the rest of us. Ethan glared, veins throbbing at his temples. "Adrian, what right do you have? You poached my girl after I called you brother." Adrian's soft laugh was pure contempt. "Poach? I waited until you cheated. The guilty conscience is yours." He stepped closer. The sheer force made Ethan half stagger back. "You left her coated blue, abandoned in the hospital. Didn't even glance in. And now you show up. Shameless." Ethan's face drained to paper white. Coated blue. It was true. I tugged Adrian's sleeve and stepped out from his shadow. "Ethan, you and I are done. Today I marry. Offer congratulations for old time's sake and I'll welcome you, because more trouble and I'll have Mrs. Eleanor escort you back to the psych ward." He bored his eyes into mine. "Did we have to end like this?" I hesitated. "Ethan, you picked the road." A bitter smile flickered. He glared at Adrian's hand locked with mine. "Fine, I'm gone, but you two will never be happy." 4. After Ethan left, Adrian bowed his head, gently massaging the red bruises on my wrist, saying nothing. The rigid set of his jaw and the tremor in his fingertips betrayed how terrified he'd been. I felt a sudden stab of guilt and poked his cheek with my free hand. Don't sulk. I had no idea he'd come. His amnesia from the car crash. Adrian trapped my mischievous fingers, banded an arm around my waist, and kissed me with near-feral urgency, his ragged breath scorching my ear. I kissed him back softly, trying to soothe the panic in him. Gradually, his frantic grip eased. A scalding drop landed on my collarbone. Adrian startled, I reached for his face. He caught my hand. The man who just faced down a room now had bloodshot eyes. I thought you'd leave with him. He was the groom, the one with every right. Yet he was terrified. Never. My heart melted. I cradled his cheeks. My heart's tiny, Adrian. It holds one person. That person is you. Only you. Ahem. Tessa stuck her head in, grinning. Much as I hate to play chaperone, time's up, lovebirds. Showtime. Adrian banked his emotions, ears still crimson. He accepted the veil from Tessa, eyes reverent, and set it atop my hair as if it were glass. I smiled and took his hand. Let's go, groom. The ceremony rolled flawlessly. Married life, however, was proving difficult to keep pace with. While Adrian needed my sore lower back for the nth time, I finally kicked him weakly. There's a banquet tomorrow. Behave tonight. No exceptions. He toyed with my pajama ribbon, his voice a velvet lure. Skip it. I'll just hold you. I swear. I wavered, then hardened my glare. Non-negotiable. Under the chandeliers, Adrian delivered me to the ballroom entrance, reluctant to let go. I chatted with a few elders and friends, then settled on a sofa to text him. Roar, well, look who's here. I glanced up. Savannah and Mrs. Eleanor stood over me, hostility crackling. 5. Out of courtesy, I rose. Mrs. Sterling, she pretended not to hear, arranging herself across from me. Aurora, I missed your wedding. Prior engagements. Surely you don't blame your auntie. I kept my smile thin, humorless. 2 years ago, I'd broken with Ethan and quickly accepted Adrian's ring. Mrs. Eleanor swallowed Savannah's tale that I'd been heartless. At the Sterling's aggressive raids on veil holdings, whatever nostalgia remained had curdled. Savannah couldn't hold back, eyes blazing. You've climbed your golden branch. Stop haunting Ethan. Hearing about your wedding rattled him. That's why he crashed and lost his memory. I recalled how cold amnesiac Ethan now treated her. Her hatred sharpened. I met her stare coolly. I thought your little stunt had already landed you in the Sterling mansion. Seems your cheap trick still can't hook him. Savannah flinched toward Mrs. Eleanor. Auntie, she's lying. Mrs. Eleanor flicked a dismissive look at her, then clasped my hand with staged warmth. Aurora, I won't dredge up the past. I know Ethan came to you on your wedding day. My boy's impulsive, but only a deep grievance would make him barge in like that. For all the times he shielded you when you were children, please spare him further torment. I beg you. I studied the woman, forcing a smile while resentment simmered behind her eyes. She loved Ethan enough to blame the world for his failures, same as when she'd swallowed Savannah's story over mine. I withdrew my hand and stood. Mrs. Sterling, I want nothing to do with him then or now. Instead of cornering me, keep him away from my life. These days, Ethan kept appearing at my gate. My parents' phones hadn't stopped ringing. A crystal glass shattered behind me. Ethan stood sheet white, unsure how long he'd listened. A shard sliced his palm. Blood dripped unchecked. Aurora, over my dead body. 6. Savannah shrieked and rushed over, fumbling for a handkerchief to staunch the blood. Ethan jerked away. I warned you. Stay away from her. She's not someone you touch. From this day on, I never want to see you again. Savannah screamed, disbelieving. Ethan, open your eyes. Who's your girlfriend? She's married. Ethan's tone mocked, but his eyes locked on me. So what if she's married? After everything we've shared, Adrian could never compare. I turned my head away, ice in every movement. Mrs. Eleanor's lips trembled. She jabbed a finger at my face. Sinful girl. I always knew you'd play the poor little thing to Lejang. If it weren't for you, my son wouldn't be this obsessed. We never should have let him stay with you, Mom. Ethan cut in, desperate, shaking his head. Stop making it harder for her. I was the one who wronged her then. And I'm the one chasing her now. She's blameless. Every gaze in the room swung toward us. Whole family, young and old, and not a shred of reason among them. If I stayed another minute, tomorrow's Eastbrook headlines would scream Vale Vance Sterling soap opera showdown. I drew a slow breath. Right and wrong have their own judges. If I hear one more groundless slur from any of you, my lawyer will ring your doorbell in person. I spun to leave. Behind me, Ethan's shout cracked the air. Watch out. 7. A suit jacket, familiar pinewood scent, dropped over my shoulders like a protective shell. Red wine splashed across the fabric, blooming into a crimson cloud. I looked up. Adrian. His face was granite, fury barely leashed. This is how the Stirrings treat my wife. Mrs. Eleanor still held the empty glass, her complexion drained to chalk. Misunderstanding. Cameron. Heavens. A total accident. Mr. Charles materialized from nowhere, sweat beading on his forehead as he tried to smooth things over. Her hand slipped. Absolutely no intent to harm. Please show magnanimity. Chairman Sterling, Adrian said, lips curving in a frigid smile. Shall I remind you? 20 years ago, the Stirrings were a dying little factory on the edge of town. How did you climb onto the solid trunk of the Vale family, secure the life-saving investment that let you sail all the way here, and grow your wings? Have you? Now you bite the hand that fed you and fling wine at the benefactor's daughter. I stared at the Stirrings, stunned. Ethan's gaze slid away. He turned his head, so there had never been a change of heart. Ethan had targeted me from the start. An odd light feeling spread through my chest. Relief. Mr. Charles, caught off guard, pointed at Adrian, mouth working on a U that never came. Adrian looked past him, sweeping the ballroom of business elites, voice calm yet laced with invisible pressure. Gentlemen, ladies, you all have eyes. Partner with ingrates who bite back. He let the words hang, glancing across several who'd tied their fortunes to the Stirrings. Can you really sleep soundly at night? I rarely saw him this sharp, this commanding. My own eyes curved in a smile as I watched. Whispers rippled through the crowd. A couple of industry titans reacted first, exchanging glances, then drifted toward the Ash and Mr. Charles. Chairman Sterling, the board feels our capital injection needs further deliberation. Old Sterling about that contract. Let's revisit it another day. The hits kept coming. Mr. Charles staggered, barely upright. Mrs. Eleanor stood frozen, face bloodless, the picture of a woman who'd lit a fuse she couldn't snuff. Adrian's arm settled around my shoulders, ready to leave. Ethan, silent until now, roared. Adrian, you're pure, are you? I don't believe your motives for approaching Aurora were one bit cleaner. I was in here early, I said, sliding into the passenger seat. Adrian pressed his lips together. The tight lines of his face softened. I missed you. Wanted to see you. I couldn't stop my own smile. Heat crept into my ears. Remembering the scene just now, Adrian added, next time they're anywhere near, bring me. I won't relax otherwise. It's not that dramatic, I retorted, giving the hand encasing mine a self-satisfied wiggle. Jamie, trust me, I can handle things. Before you showed up, I'd already shut them up. He chuckled, nodded solemnly. I believe you. Always have. Ms. Vale, razor tongue. Total triumph. Very cool. But I can't stand watching you wrong, not even a millimeter. My eyes stung. I studied the clean profile intent on the road. His final retort to Ethan echoed in my ears. Whether my motives are clean, if she believes it, that's enough. Adrian, I believe you. I believe every intention you had in coming close to me was spotless. He blinked, stunned, realization catching up. The hand on the wheel tightened. A storm of emotion rolled through his gaze. Next instant, he yanked the car to the curb. Seatbelt off. He kissed me. No room for refusal. Long moments later, he buried his face against my neck. Voice thick with satisfaction and a tremor. A.I. Ellis. Then he lifted his head. Eyes impossibly bright. So tonight, can I sleep in the master bedroom? My armor shattered. Adrian, I take it back. Your thoughts are so not clean. Image 9. East University's anniversary fell right then. Adrian was invited to speak as a distinguished alumnus. Afterward he rang wanting me to pick him up. I'd assumed the dinner debacle would keep Ethan quiet. Wrong. He showed up on campus too. When I arrived, Ethan's face was thunder. angling for a one-on-one basketball showdown with Adrian. They played on the same varsity squad freshman year, cutting through tournaments and hauling trophies home for the college. Standing there now, they looked almost like those days again. Adrian spotted me and lit up. "Babe." He sprinted over, breeze in his wake, utterly ignoring Ethan's instant scowl. "This water for me?" I rolled my eyes and pressed the bottle into his palm. I didn't bother exposing how he'd reminded me a dozen times on the phone not to forget it. Ethan stepped closer, wounded accusation in his tone. "Aurora, you used to bring water only for me." True. All those years, every game of his. Rain or shine, I'd been there until Savannah joined the cheer squad, and he casually shared a bottle with her. Careless, easier this way, saves you the trouble of carrying. The offhand words had felt like tiny needles back then, a dull ache that refused to fade. When I stayed silent, he produced a frosty box from behind his back. "Aura, sweet rice dumplings, the kind you've loved since we were kids." I lined up at Chin's just for these. "Try one, okay?" I studied the hope flickering in his eyes. "Ethan, did you ever notice? Every time I eat them I get stomach cramps. You just kept assuming I love them." He froze, frantic to explain. I turned, tugged Adrian away, and found the best courtside seats. The game began. Adrian wore a mint blue shirt today, sleeves shoved to his elbows, solid forearms catching the light, top buttons open over a white tee. Fresh, effortless, bursting with the energy of college days. For a second, I saw the tall figure who used to send worried glances my way on this very court, the one I used to overlook. The score stayed neck and neck. Ethan played like he'd been shot with adrenaline, and every time he scored he shot me a pleading glance. Yet my eyes kept following Adrian, and when he sank a basket my lips curved. Before long, Ethan burned out from the early burst, losing 2 buckets in a row. On the final shot, Adrian drove the lane quick as a leopard. Just as he was about to pass, Ethan's gaze turned vicious, and he stuck out a foot to trip him. Adrian's body lurched. At the instant he fell, he flicked the ball with his left hand a heartbeat before it hit the floor. Then he crashed hard. Almost simultaneously the ball kissed the net. Swish. The gym fell silent for a second, then erupted in deafening cheers. I rushed to Adrian's side. His forearm was scraped and bleeding. "It hurts," he whimpered. Ethan stood nearby, staring poison at the hand I had on Adrian. A flare of nameless anger rose in me, and I glared at him. "You played together for years. Now you can't stand losing, so you pull a dirty stunt like that." In my arms, Adrian gave Ethan a taunting smile. The sight of it made Ethan snarl. "Just a damn scratch. Adrian, stop acting. Remember when you broke a bone and never whined? And you, Aurora, you're cursing me out for him." Disappointment flooded me. "Who are you to me? Why would I choose you over him? Stay away from us from now on. I never want to see you again." Behind me, Ethan shouted my name in panic and fury, his voice cracking. "Aurora, do you really not want me anymore?" "Aurora," I never looked back, supporting Adrian gently as we walked away. Back home I cleaned his wound. It wasn't deep. It only looked scary, half worried, half angry. I dabbed antiseptic on a cotton swab and jabbed a little harder than necessary. He lounged on the couch and held theatrically, eyes laughing. "Serves you right. I told you not to play him. You didn't have to prove anything." He grunted. "I couldn't stand it. He still thinks he matters to you. We're married, and the bastard won't give up. Haunting us like a sewer rat begging to be exterminated." He grew more heated by the second. I couldn't help a small laugh. "Hush. Stop squirming. You're smearing the ointment." He rested his chin on his other hand and watched me, lips lifting. "Gee," he murmured. "This feels unreal." Back then, after every game you used to bring him water and bandage his scrapes while I could only watch. I kept wishing that someday that guy would be me. He gave a sheepish grin. And now he really is me. My hand stilled. I'd accepted his rushed proposal first and learned to love him after. He'd never spoken of those days, so the longing had been buried all this time. I tightened my grip on his hand and said firmly, "Adrian, from now on, I'm your exclusive water girl. I'm sure the Sterlings would love a copy." I rose and dealt the last blow. "Hold on to that drive. Once they find out, you'll be lucky to get 800 cents. I walked away without a backward glance. She stared after me, shivering in despair. I mailed the recording anonymously to Sterling HQ. The family exploded, suing Savannah for theft, defamation, and more. The court slapped her with astronomical damages. She sold everything and still owed a fortune, then went underground. Her glamorous life reduced to ashes. Late that night, a long text from an unknown number arrived. Aurora, you didn't team up with Savannah. Proof you still love me. Divorce Adrian. Come back and I'll end the war. The Sterling Empire will be yours. Let's start over. I didn't bother reading the rest. I blocked the number. Tomorrow I'd change phones. Adrian rubbed his eyes and mumbled groggily. Who was it? I turned and burrowed into his arms, nuzzling until I found a comfortable spot. Spam taken care of. The Sterling onslaught grew fiercer by the day. Troll farms and half-truth leaks attacking the safety of Vale's new product line. Dad's temper flared. He pulled 3 consecutive all-nighters. The result was a sudden myocardial infarction and an ambulance ride to the hospital. Mom kept vigil at his bedside day and night. I worked even harder. Adrian watched me with concern in his eyes, then ordered me to rest. Aurora, Vale matters, but you matter more. Be good. Go sleep. I've got everything. I stared into his bloodshot irises and finally nodded. We'll carry it together. With his unreserved backing, I discovered I had more business acumen than I had thought. We studied the Vale helm. We released rock-solid proof of Sterling Shipping's cooked books and rushed an upgraded replacement for their flagship project. Adrian leveraged the Vance name, corralled a consortium of banks, and yanked Sterling's credit lines. Their cash flow snapped like dry kindling. Sterling's stock price fell off a cliff. Bankruptcy followed. Ethan's parents never dreamed the son they adored would incinerate a lifetime's work. Charles, hounded by creditors, begged former partners for loans only to be blacklisted or laughed at. He ranted about their ingratitude. In despair, he climbed to the roof of Sterling headquarters and leapt. Eleanor's hair turned white overnight. Weeping, she downed Ethan. She quietly skimmed the last severance earmarked for the workers and vanished. Ethan drank from dawn to dusk. One night, he missteered into a mountain guardrail. When rescuers cut him free, he was barely human. Third-degree burns over most of his body, spine shattered. In the white-hot verge of death, every lost memory slammed back into him. Yet waking was crueler than dying. After the hospital's final charity hour ran out, security invited him out of the ICU. Half deranged, he tried to see me again and again. Turned away, he ended up sleeping under a bridge like a vagrant. One stormy night, someone had masked a gaping hole in the dilapidated span with dead branches. He stepped into air and fell. The instant his body hit concrete, he knew with crystal clarity. So this is how much it hurts. He lived, but fever and oxygen loss scorched his brain. He lost his mind for good. A good Samaritan dropped him at St. Denis. He curls in a corner endlessly repeating the same line. Aurora, I'm sorry, Chio. At last the storm passed. Dad stabilized. Now he potters with Mom among flower beds and bird cages, plays chess in the sun, and has handed veils and reins to me. One afternoon, I'm sorting old boxes in my room when a sepia-tinged freshman year group photo slips from the dust. In it, Adrian wears a white tee, already handsome beneath the boyish softness. He stands at the edge of the crowd, smiling faintly, eyes fixed on the girl, busily straightening her backpack strap, utterly unaware. Love travels across years, bright and unmistakable. Almost the instant the door opens, I fling myself at the figure stepping through. He catches me steady. Adrian, let's go back to campus. I lift the photo, warmed by my own clutch, and hold it in front of him. I want to hear you tell me out loud all the stories I missed, the ones that were already ours. He tightens his arms, chin resting on my hair, voice low and certain. Okay, as long as you want to listen, my story has always only ever been about you. Adrian's side story. Adrian first saw Aurora on freshman move-in day. Her hair was half pinned up, mint blue sundress fluttering, wrists delicate as porcelain. She stood one place ahead of him in the check-in line and carefully signed the form. Aurora, the strokes looked like early spring bamboo, strong and alive, utterly at odds with her fragile appearance. He couldn't stop staring. That glance lasted 4 years. She studied ferociously, seized every chance to compete or volunteer, sweeping up awards. Approachable yet dazzling, she drew every eye. But Aurora followed only Ethan. Because Ethan loved basketball, she attended every single game. When tryouts rolled around, Adrian signed up and soon became a starter. Yet Aurora's shining gaze stayed on Ethan while she offered him water, wiped his sweat, and bandaged scrapes. Adrian stood off to the side, scenery no one noticed. He thought, if only one day that person were me. During the Intercollegiate tournament, he dove to shield Ethan and snapped his left leg. Ethan started calling him brother, telling him everything. In the training room, Aurora peeled apples for him, her eyes red. He endured the pain, afraid to shatter the moment. He believed Ethan and Aurora were an unbreakable set until junior year when Ethan met Savannah. Savannah's game was mediocre. Yet Ethan insisted she play every match. While he taught her to shoot, he never glanced at Aurora, who was clutching a water bottle on the sideline. He spent every free minute with Savannah, hurting Aurora again and again. When Adrian confronted him, Ethan sneered. She can't live without me. After all these years, I'm bored. Savannah's just a bit of fun. For the first time, Adrian didn't hold back. He smashed his fist into Ethan's face. Watching Ethan stagger, Adrian said, "You're finished." Aurora repays kindness 1,000-fold. But if her heart truly breaks, she walks away clean. When Adrian learned Aurora was critical, the blood drained from his own face. He kept vigil outside her ward for days. The instant she woke, he rushed in. By then, he was already training at Vance Capital. He could address thousands without a tremor. Yet he stammered in front of her. He fumbled for an excuse. "The class president asked me to check on you." Aurora blinked toward the doorway. Class President Tessa stood there with a fruit basket, startled. "Huh, right. I had some free time." "Haha." Adrian knew he'd blown his cover. But Aurora smiled, bamboo-piercing snow, heart-stopping. Later, he heard the Vale family was selecting a fiancé for their daughter. Already a CEO, Adrian marched in, offering 20% of Vance Capital. Faced with her questioning look, he didn't dare confess the full force of his love. Ethan's appearance at the wedding woke his deepest fear that Aurora still harbored old feelings, and that he was only the fallback. Luckily, in the days that followed, Aurora took his hand and said, "Adrian, I love you. Only you." Now he gazes at her dozing on the sun balcony. He curls his fingers through hers and brushes a kiss across her lashes. Light shatters into shards across her face. A breeze stirs like quiet music. Adrian and Aurora will stay always, always together. The end.